Not contain my enthusiasm any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. It is April 1st, the day of many fools. What fools do we have joining us here? Right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hey, welcome everyone. It's also the first Friday of the month, so it's Formal Friday, and so I put on a little shirt and tie for you. You know, every time I do this, once a month in this case, I look in the mirror. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should dress like this all the time. Although, I'm out there, raking leaves or something. I'm not gonna dress like, I wear my Harley t-shirt and a pair of shorts, right? So anyway, glad to see you all. Glad to be here with you. We've got hey, it's April. Good things happen in April. All right. So just in case you're wondering, is this going to be a good month for you? I've got the crystal ball, and I can tell you it is going to be a good month. Yes, it is. April and October are my two favorite months. Good things happen. So new beginnings in April, and end of summer, like purposeful, final drive for the end of the year, October. My daughter was born in October. April, I got married in April. Right. So, I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But look, I'll make the case however if I got to invent evidence to make my case to myself that this is going to be a great month, fine, make the case then. Invent some evidence or something. Right. You guys know about confirmation bias, where you're expecting it to be that way. Therefore, you kind of filter out anything contrary and you filter in things to confirm your bias, right? Confirmation bias, right? I can't see the things that are, contra to my assumption or my bias, but I can see very readily those things that are. It's interesting when you have conversations with people who don't realize that, we're all subject to this, but my viewpoint is definitely not impartial. So if you're willing to go on this ride with me called April 2022, and we're all going to go on it, but if you're willing to go on this fun ride called April 2022, then welcome guys to April. This is very good. Got a topic for you today. Before I do so, I will announce that I will be here with you at 6 p.m. Eastern US time without a tie for Be Heard. Be Heard. Yes, being heard is good. 6 p.m. Yes, 6 p.m. Eastern US time. And that is going to be from the road because I'm picking up my daughter at around that time. So I'm going to be doing Be Heard whilst driving. So there's that. And it's a rainy day here in Tampa Bay. So I'll be driving through the rain, and hopefully it won't be too torrential. Today it was like nonstop, like holy crap, could barely see, one of those days. Anyway, here's the topic that's coming up that came up for me today, and I'm thinking this is going to be very good for everyone as you embrace April and everything you're about to create this month, and that is the idea of collaboration and collaborating with on-purpose people. I watched a movie last night with my daughter, a children's movie, a family movie. Anyone know about a movie called Sing? Yeah. Okay. So Sing 2, I see Virginia's got her thumbs up there. So Sing 2, we saw Sing years ago whenever they made it, but then Sing 2, it's about this group of animals and they're doing singing and dancing acts and facing adversities of show business and anyway, all this. But Sing 2, and I know when they launched the movie a month or two ago, they wanted like $30 to rent the movie. I'm like, I'm out. I'll wait till it goes down to $5. I'm just, I don't care, how much money I make. I'm not paying $30 to rent a movie for a day. So anyway, it was $5. So we watched the movie last night. And one of the, go watch it for yourself if you got kids or, they spend, millions and millions and millions of dollars making these animated movies. So, they're great for adults too, if you ask me. But not only was the talent very good, but the message in the movie was about overcoming adversity and making your mark in a very difficult industry. Anyone here who knows entertainment, right? That is not an easy road. Okay. And there were, interesting capers that they went on, and they had, you know, adversities and all this. But one of the underlying messages that I got while watching the movie was that this was a troupe, this was a group of performers who couldn't do it alone. They were in a collaborative effort. Right here, we're going to put on the theatrical event, okay? But that's your role, and here are all these different characters that came together. And despite the hardships, despite the stops that were thrown in front of them plural, right? A group of characters. Despite that, the morale and the production and the perseverance, and they got through it, and they triumphed. Of course, you got to have a happy ending to a movie, but the triumphant conclusion was made possible by the fact that they collaborated. In other words, part of their pay, part of what kept them going and kept their morale high was leaning on each other's strengths. There were no islands here. In fact, there was one character, and I won't spoil the movie for you, but there's one character who pretty much was an island until, towards the end of the movie, and they kind of were brought into the fold. And their whole demeanor, their whole, hey, Glenn, looking sharp, driving your truck, there you are. But the whole, like from being, I'm alone and downtrodden and I can't, or I won't, or what's the use, right? To, hey, I'm part of the troupe now. I'm part of the team, right? I'm a player on this team. I thought, wow, how not only instructive for youth to watch this stuff, but instructive for me, because I think, and we've talked about this before, but I think part of our pay just for showing up and living and doing whatever we're doing is being able to work cooperatively, collaboratively with other on-purpose people. That is part of my pay. Think of the office situation where the person shows up reluctantly, miserably every day. They hate their coworkers. They are all alone. They're sitting in their cubicle. Their life sucks. All right. Now, think of here's the the boardroom where everybody's getting together and planning their attack for the day. Right. Here's the sales team or whatever it happens to be. Or you could, I guess, equate this obviously to like sport or different things where people actually have some cooperation, operate together, right? Towards what? Common purposes. It's a completely different dynamic. So here's, miserable person going and being alone in their cubicle, and whatever stories come with that. That's a rough road, right? And then here's all the people who, are enjoying their work. And I've heard, and I haven't had a corporate job in decades, okay, but I heard that there are some corporations that have play areas for their people where they go and, I don't know, throw frisbees or whatever they're doing, right? And here's, I think maybe one of you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Google has like a certain percentage of the time that the employees are programming or whatever, right? But there's a certain percentage of time where they're just playing, I don't know, experimenting. So here's what has to get done, and here's whatever else, which we don't know. Maybe something good. Let's find out, right? That's kind of cool. So there's a balance. There's a balance there between have to and want to. Was it James Clear in Atomic Habits talked about reframing? All right, so here's a habit that I'm looking to put in. Here's something resourceful, which could be a replacement for an unresourceful habit. And rather than the inner dialogue of I have to, oh, I get to, oh, what an opportunity. I get to do this thing every day. Semantics? Okay, semantics, but fine. I mean, words have meanings, right? So all right, let's pick the words then. Let's pick the words. You get to work collaboratively with these other on-purpose people. What a blessing. What a blessing. Missy, Linda, Glenn, what a blessing. You're not alone. It's part of your pay. Now, how did this come up for me? Well, not only did I, kind of psychoanalyze the movie, but I noticed for myself, since it's April 1st, okay, by the way, I don't have any jokes for you today. Not only is it April Fool's Day, it's also Fun Friday, and I'm coming up empty. Somebody's got to tell a joke right? Or do a prank or something. But not while you're driving, please. So,
hey, I'm at a red light.
All right, come on, Glenn. What's up?
Well, no, yeah, I and I'm gonna have to jump off here because I got to go do the show. And I realized it was April Fool's, and you know me, we're talking about Star Trek all the time. So I was gonna tell you, I was gonna tell you a really cool time travel joke about time traveling, but you didn't like it.
Oh, that's good.
I'll see myself out.
All right. Oh, I'm going to tell you a cool time travel joke, but you didn't like it. All right. Good times. Oh, I'm going to steal that. All right. So, what was I talking about? Right. So here's the other thing that prompted all this today. So I had, looking back at statistics from the past month and looking at what was produced and what was not produced by various people. See, Glenn, by various people who are in my fold, right? Under my mentorship, let's say. And so some people are very productive. Some people, I would like for them to be productive, and they're not. And so I have to assess my own expectations and remember we talked yesterday about motivating, what motivates us and what could motivate others. So this was kind of an adjunct to that. Am I being the proper leader in the case of, let's say, here's someone who, loses interest in the work that has been laid out for them, loses interest in the goals that they themselves allegedly, want to achieve, right? So what is my job to help make sure they get paid? See, I want everybody to get paid. And what is part of our pay? Working collaboratively. Well, bringing them and keeping them in the fold with, on purpose, enthusiastic, action begets action, right? Now, if somebody truly wants to go be alone, sit in their cubicle or something, well, they can do that. Okay. But I could get better. I could be better at providing an environment and a vision, right? Because where there is no vision, the people perish of, hey, here's where we're going. Remember your goals. Here's where we're going. Get that dopamine going here, right? Here's where we're going with this. Because look, time kills all deals, right? I've got, and all of you have experienced this. You've got a new customer. They're like, wow, this is freaking awesome. And then, a month later, they can't even remember, what they bought or something. All right. So the indoctrination doesn't end when they sign on the dotted line and say, yeah, I'll buy the thing, right? I think of any product you buy, right? So you got the sales pitch, right? Oh, this looks like a great TV set or something. Great. Now you got the TV set. Is that it for indoctrination? No, here's the friggin' manual. Read the manual, right? Here's the on-screen menu. Here's, all the benefits of ownership that you're going to now enjoy. I mean, assuming that you inflow, the data, right? I mean, you got read the friggin' manual, and then what, right? Then they get to experience the, all the programming that comes to them and watch movies like Sing and whatever they're going to do. But the point is that it's not just a quick hit of motivation. It's not just a quick hit of purposefulness or cooperation or enthusiasm. It is something that could go on. And when it does go on, when people continue to be in the fold, when they're a part of instead of apart from, they tend to not only obviously stick, but they also tend to be enthusiastic. And what do we know about enthusiasm? My goodness, you want to see production? What did Albert Gray say? back in the 1950s. He said, you know what, if you're lacking production and you're in your sales team, he was talking to a bunch of like insurance people, right? So if you're lacking production in your sales team, don't create competition and, you know, pit people against it. No, just get people refocused on purpose. What is the purpose? Why are we here? What are you here to accomplish? Right? Get people refocused on the why. And then the production pretty much takes care of itself. Okay. So the production based on a high emotional state, an enthusiastic state, production will go up. When I feel good, I do good. Right? When I'm emotionally up, my stats are up. And there's the upward spiral because now I'm seeing up stats. Well, that feels nice. Right? And so there goes up the morale. Right? Here's production, here's morale. This is the upward spiral. And it can't be neglected. I'm saying this to myself. It can't be neglected. Yeah, we're all busy. Yeah, we all got things that we individually have to do, whether that's in the cubicle or in the shop or whatever it happens to be. There's things that we must get done, but what do we want to do? And I'll tell you what, we go a whole lot faster when we want to. Anybody ever seen, and this is not a necessarily a good example, but the movie The Boiler Room with Vin Diesel, Giovanni Ribisi, Ben Affleck was in it. It was about a bunch of crooked stockbrokers. They were. It was like criminal actions actually, but it was very good. Very good sales movie. Very good movie for any salespeople. You definitely would dig like the dynamics of all this and the communications and the acting. It was very well done. It was based on the Wolf of Wall Street guy, like in real life. It was based on like the criminal actions they were doing, and so but in that movie, it was called The Boiler Room because that is another way to say a call center, like where there's all, you know, leads come in and there's all these guys working the phone and making the deals, and it's like a beehive of activity in there, a beehive. And in the movie, they also had, you know, infighting and pissing wars and stuff like this. So that was just part of that environment. Okay, but even with that, I could appreciate that, you know, here was these guys are on a mission. They were kicking ass. They were barking up the wrong tree. I mean, they were selling garbage. That's not cool. And they're out of business. But the dynamic of it, the collaborative, the cooperation when it did exist, and the action, yes, the action of it all. Think of actual bees, like in a real beehive, right? So here is work that's happening. And so here's Sally Bee, and here's Bob the bee, and you know, Bob's not going to sit around and being lazy because he sees Sally. She's like making honey and like doing the thing, right? And so Bob is like, well, let's go get some honey then. I need pollen. Well, let's go get it, right? So action begets action. If you're finding yourself in a slow or less enthusiastic environment, create or put yourself in one or create one that is enthusiastic, right? So if we're lacking the, not necessarily a boiler room, but if we're lacking that momentum and that the energy and the enthusiasm of production, well, then find an environment which is productive and immerse yourself in it, or create one. I think this is so essential. I've seen so many people for years drag their ass around in a state of drudgery and whatever. I'm persistent, right? Is that the goal, to be persistent? Is that what they're going to write on your gravestone? Here lies Enrique. He was persistent. No, I mean, look, persistence is great. It's great. You got to be persistent. But what else? You know, we talk a little bit about enjoying the journey. So how about persistent and productive? He was persistently productive. Oh, well, now I'll give you an applause, right? He got stuff done, and he benefited all who he touched. Talking about Enrique now, right? Just making this up. I don't have any Enriques on here live with us, so I thought I'd pick, because I say Bob a lot, but I know Missy's husband is Bob, so I keep leaning on Bob. So Enrique. Anyway, you've got the opportunity this month to immerse yourself in a productive environment to produce yourself, right? And to boost your own morale by observing the production of yourself and of others. That's my intent for everybody this month. I'm, and look, in a way, we've got obviously resourceful conversation. I think resourceful anyway, that we have here within this group. Everyone here has a voice. If you're not a member and you're seeing this on YouTube, go solve that problem now. Go to jlsuccessmastermind.com, get a trial membership. You're going to love it, guaranteed, or you can leave, whatever. But this conversation of success must be something we immerse ourselves in. And the conversation isn't always a conversation. Sometimes it's just, here I am in the beehive, being industrious and persistent and enthusiastic. You know, I lived in Utah for a few years, the great state of Utah. And on the flag of Utah is a beehive. And the word industry. Utah is the state of industry. I was quizzing my daughter the other day on the tag names, for different states, New York, Empire State, New Jersey, Garden State, right? Florida, Sunshine State. She's like, BS. Yeah, way more sun in Arizona. Okay. Which is the Grand Canyon State. Utah, state of industry. Industrious, right? Work, production. That's what Utah is about. So I got to honor that. You don't have to live in Utah to be industrious, okay? Or to be happy being productive. In fact, I guess no matter what background you've come from up to this point, you could just adopt the principles of it and put it in play in whatever environment you're in or that you can create for yourself. It's a very different, I'm going to relate this to something completely outside of business. Here's the person, let's say husband and wife, okay, and they have, let's say the husband has been overweight and they are trying such and such diet programs, and they are sometimes exercising a little bit because they haven't done it much, you see, so it's painful. And so that's an area where they've practiced avoidance, and they're trying. And they're going to try this diet, they're going to try that diet, and maybe they'll get the exercise bike, and maybe they'll go to the gym because they got the membership, and blah, 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 right? But one day, this same person says to their spouse and the kids and whoever, right? That's it. I'm done. You know what? This is the one program I'm going to be on. I ask you all for your support on this, right? Cake, no cake. Thank you. Right. We're going to do the thing. Sorry, Virginia. We're going to hold off on those cookies until Christmas time. But right now, starting right now, this is the program. Here's the 7:30 in the morning exercise. Here's the vegetable juice. Here's the whatever. It's a completely different energy. It was decisive, and it was enrolling. It was enrolling. Here is this character who I just made up, who now enrolled the family, the spouse, the whatever, right, into the vision of, here's where I'm going. I would ask for your support. They just created an environment, a supportive, collaborative environment of a higher level of enthusiasm than yesterday when same guy, I'll try maybe this program, maybe that program. I'm not quite sure. See the difference? It's so friggin' obvious, the difference. I think. What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. That was an abrupt stop. Hi, Missy.
John, since becoming an entrepreneur less than a year ago, I'm starting to feel that I am living on a high. I mean, I've never taken a drug or recreational drug or anything, so I don't know what that feels like, but that's what I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And because the possibilities are endless, and there's not even enough time in the day to do the things you want to do. It's not that you run out of time instead of wasting time.
Mhm.
And it's very exciting, and my whole being is being uplifted by it. And this platform, I gotta say it every day, this platform is, that place. And Linda and Lindsay and I started our own accountability group, and that has changed us. Sometimes we just coffee clutcher, but sometimes we're doing very important things. And it stays with us. It's like an energy that continues as you're walking around. It's sticking with you, and
Mhm.
it's making you do things that you didn't even, what I used to think was impossible, I don't even think about doing anymore. So it is life changing. Anybody who's listening to this and is not here as a member, this something, you better get your brains checked out or something, because this is the place to grow your life. Never mind your business, to better yourself, but the business will be an effect of that, because you are the cause. I heard that from somebody once. When you become the cause of your own life, your life changes. And I used to be, for those listening, I used to be an effect of a condition, of a diagnosed condition, which I don't say it's what I have, or anyway, that's completely flipping. I don't say that I feel good yet, but I'm getting there. And it's just, I don't know, I can't find the words anymore, but you get my drift.
I get your drift. I get it. And look, with that enrollment, that enthusiasm, that community, right? All of that, you don't have to use as many words. Isn't that part of the beautiful, right? Sally the bee didn't have to tell Bob the bee to get to work, right? It just, the communication happened without words. So awesome, Missy. Awesome. And yeah, I pity a person who is dragging their ass through life, because I know what that's like. Right? Here you are all alone. Same old, right? For whatever purpose, which you can't actually define. My goodness. That's a lot of people. Linda? Linda?
Hello.
Your microphone.
Yeah, like you said, decision. I mean,
Oh, you guys having a hard time hearing Linda?
uh-oh. Is this better?
Almost nothing.
Can
Almost
I
nothing.
hear you, Linda?
Ah, crap. Hold on.
There's a hot mic somewhere, but it's ultra quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Gotcha.
Okay. So you said it, John, decision. We have to make a decision to go after what it is we want to go after, which is definite a purpose, right? And desire, it all goes back to Napoleon Hill, right? So yeah, I mean, it's the first of the month. We have goals to get by the end of the month, and we have to focus in on those and just decide that we're going to do it.
Uh-huh.
Was it is it psycho-cybernetics? Set that goal, and the rocket will take you there, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Well, you don't man the rocket alone, though, right, Linda? So you're going to enroll
No.
others, right?
Well,
You're going to
yes, of
enroll
course.
others in your vision. So here you are leading
Right.
people. Here's where we're going, folks.
Right. Yeah, we got to be that leader. Yeah, and sometimes, there's just people that aren't going to listen to you, and you got to be okay with that too. I mean, you just got to keep trying, but you can, like, John. I mean, you tell us all the time. Do we listen all the time? No.
Well, neither do I.
Right. But yeah, I mean, something exciting was announced today about a goal that we're all working towards. A lot of us here in this group, and pretty exciting.
Take the money.
So, yep.
Take
And it
the
was
money.
I was on a call this morning. I mean, from 9:30 till 12. And it was conversation. I was serving the customer. I was serving. So yeah.
2.5 hours. Wow.
Yeah, well, a lot of these people have nobody to talk to sometimes, John, so So I
Well,
just
there's
did
our
a
mastermind group, they can come here. We got a
Yeah.
hospitality suite. It's open all day. They can talk.
That's true. That's true. But it's like I go in with the attitude that I'm doing this from a place of service and not to get. So
Right.
that's where.
And you're productive, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there it is, Linda. It's and keep in mind what Linda's talking about here is that's part of the pay, right? Is
It is,
knowing
yes.
that you've served, right?
Mhm.
But it's not just altruistic. You got to get paid too, right? I mean, there's
Right,
commerce
yeah.
going on here. So find the balance with that. And Linda, I think you're awesome, Linda.
Thanks, John.
Wow.
I think you're awesome too.
Well, yeah.
And everybody here as well.
Thank you.
I mean, just being part of this community raises up our vibration every day. So,
Good.
yep.
Well, I'll keep showing up then. Thank
Okay.
you.
And if I had a joke, I would tell it, but I can't think of one. So.
All right. Well, that's okay. If you do, let me
All right.
know.
Okay,
I'm going to
I got
see, hey, Missy, come on out. I'm going to see Scottish bagpipes and caber throwing this weekend. So I'm excited. I've got,
Well, that's interesting.
yeah, kilts and stuff and all that.
Oh.
Missy?
I just wanted to say that we talked about this on Monday when you weren't, or Tuesday when you weren't there. There's a gap between who we are now and who we're going to be at the end of the month, even, or at the end of the day. And the idea is to lessen that gap. And until you lessen that gap, you got to be the person at the end of the day who has made those calls and closed the deal. You
Right.
can't just still be this person and expect to get that. So the more you do that, the more you're closing the gap, the more you are the person, the more Neville Goddard is living in you. Because he didn't do any work. He sat in his hallway by his phone and he just, and it happened. So none of us are up to his skill level yet. It took him decades, but that's the way it happens. So we got to lessen the gap by having unwavering faith, the deepest gratitude, and regardless of any appearance to the contrary, it doesn't matter how many people don't sign up. There's 10 more coming. That's all I want to say.
Awesome. Thank you, Missy. Be, do, and have in that order. Be, do, have. Awesome stuff, guys. All right. So Virginia, New Mexico. That's weird to say, isn't it? Catherine, Daisy, we got Lindsay here. Any other thoughts from anybody? Virginia Pipitone.
I was just to segue, I think that's the right word, off of Missy. I'm proposing that our next book in book club be The Gap and the Gain, which I had said before, and I'm trying to find the author on it, but it talks about staying in the gain and not staying in the gap.
Mm-hmm.
And just really great. It really helped with my mindset, as all these books have, but then some of them resonate more than others, is if I'm focusing on and on about this incident that happened, I'm staying in the gap. Instead of focusing, okay, what can I get out of that incident? How can I learn from it? How can I turn it around? What is some more positive and everything? Is it Dan Sullivan? Thank you, Lindsay. So, and then, stay into that area of the gain. There is just, it would be, it's not that long of a book. I mean, it's average length. I don't think it's going to take, I know the one that you're on right now is going to take forever. It's going to take into the summer, I think, to get through.
That's great.
I wanted to put that one on the table too.
Okay.
Or we just
So-
start reading it on their own, The Gap and the Gain.
The Gap and the Gain, Kindle. Here it is. Dan Sullivan, Benjamin Hardy. There you go. Okay. Yeah, let's put it on the reading list if it had that sort of an impact on you.
I listened to it, and the one that I'm listening to has got, I think Dan Hardy is reading it, and then he stops and Mr. Hardy, whoever, and he stops and he interviews Dan Sullivan. So then you have the author interviews in there and, his input and all of that. So anyway, very, very interesting.
Yeah, Dan Sullivan started Strategic Coach, which is has been very influential for a lot of marketers. So yeah, let's do it.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Well then, let's go do April. Let's do it. And I'll be back here with you at 6 p.m. Eastern for Be Heard on the Road. So thank you guys for just being a part of my environment. All right. Thank you for being On Purpose people. This part of, my experience, part of my pay, if you will. All right. Well,